Have you ever wondered about the early life of Moses? This tutorial will guide you to create a cinematic documentary. By the end, you'll understand how to tell Moses' story visually. Start with researching the historical context of ancient Egypt. Gather visuals that highlight the settings and the mood. Focus on the Nile River's scenic beauty at dawn. Next, create a storyboard outlining the key scenes. Plan the opening shot with dark visuals and rushing water sounds. Show Moses' basket floating gently in the river. Then, capture scenes of the oppression of the Israelites. Use wide shots of temples and crowded settlements for context. Highlight the struggle of Hebrew slaves under Pharaoh's rule. Now, film the moment Moses' mother hides him. Show her emotion while placing him in the basket. Create tension as she releases him into the Nile. Transition to the discovery of Moses by Pharaoh's daughter. Capture her initial surprise and motherhood instincts. Add a soft emotional score to this scene. Next, illustrate the interaction between the sister and Pharaoh's daughter. Ensure viewers feel the hope in this moment. Show the reunion between Moses and his mother with tears of joy. As Moses grows up, juxtapose palace life and his Hebrew roots. Use contrasting visuals to portray his dual identity. Highlight his connection to both worlds through subtle expressions. Conclude with Moses gazing at the Hebrew slaves. As the tension builds, emphasize his inner conflict. Use close-ups to convey his struggle between two identities. Summarize by discussing the significance of Moses' early life. Highlight the journey from baby to future leader. Encourage viewers to reflect on their own narratives of identity. Now, apply these steps to create an engaging documentary. Use your creativity to captivate your audience with Moses' story. Moses walks through the royal Egyptian environment. His elite clothing symbolizes privilege. Yet, he sees suffering all around him. Hebrew slaves labor under the harshest conditions. Suddenly, he witnesses a brutal act. An Egyptian taskmaster beats a helpless Hebrew slave. Fury ignites within Moses, compelling him to act. He intervenes to protect the slave, a dangerous choice. In a fit of rage, Moses retaliates. He kills the Egyptian, a shocking act of violence. Fear grips him as he looks around. Realizing the consequences, he understands he must flee. The following day brings troubling news. People whisper about what Moses did. The danger escalates when Pharaoh learns of the crime. A royal order is issued for Moses' capture. With no time to lose, Moses escapes Egypt. He navigates through the unforgiving wilderness. The vast deserts feel endless, a place of isolation. Exhaustion weighs heavily on his spirit. After days of hardship, Moses reaches Midian. Thirsty and tired, he finds a well. Here, he encounters 7 daughters of a Midian priest. Sinister shepherds attempt to drive them away. Moses steps in, defending the daughters. He helps water their flock, proving his worth. Grateful, their father welcomes him into their home. He starts a new life far from Egypt's grasp. Meet Zipporah, a daughter who catches Moses' eye. Their bond grows amidst the pastoral tranquility. He learns the ways of a shepherd under the vast skies. Years pass as Moses lives in the wilderness. He believes his greatest accomplishments are behind him. Little does he know, destiny has plans for him. As he tends to his sheep, a transformation is about to begin. Drawing nearer to Mount Horeb, he notices a glow. An otherworldly light signals the start of something extraordinary. Suddenly, the screen cuts to black. The narrator speaks with urgency. And then, Moses saw something that should have been impossible. The stage is set for the next gripping episode. Moses wanders the wilderness near Mount Horeb. He spots a bush, burning yet not consumed. The camera slowly pushes in on the burning bush. Moses steps closer, intrigued by the phenomenon. Narrator: After 40 years, Moses saw a life-changing sight. Moses removes his sandals, realizing he stands on holy ground. Suddenly, a powerful voice calls out, "Moses!" This marks the beginning of his divine commission from God. God reveals he has heard Israel's suffering in Egypt. He intends to free them from their bondage. Moses shows hesitation at God's call. He questions, "Who am I to lead them?" Then he asks, "What if they don't believe me?" Fear lingers as he thinks about Pharaoh's rejection. God provides miraculous signs to bolster Moses' faith. His staff turns into a snake when thrown. Moses' hand becomes diseased and then healed. Water is transformed into blood before his eyes. Next, introduce Aaron, Moses' brother and spokesman. Aaron will speak for Moses in Egypt. Moses sets off to return to Egypt with his family. Tension builds as Moses nears the land of his past. Narrator: The fugitive was returning, but this time purpose drove him. Moses walks into his past, ready to confront Pharaoh. End with a dramatic shot of Moses outside Egypt. Show the Egyptian capital rising in the background. The screen fades to black, signaling the chapter's conclusion. Have you ever wondered how the Israelites crossed the Red Sea? This tutorial will guide you through creating an epic cinematic chapter. By the end, you'll depict a powerful story of hope and deliverance. Imagine the Israelites traveling through the wilderness. Families carry belongings, children walk beside livestock, and large groups move toward the sea. Suddenly, panic erupts as someone spots Egyptian chariots. The crowd realizes they are trapped between Pharaoh's army and the sea. Show Moses standing before the terrified crowd. The narrator states, "The people who had escaped slavery now believed they were about to die." This moment is key. It captures their fear and urgency. Next, Moses raises his staff. A powerful wind begins to blow. Water separates, creating a path through the sea. Visualize enormous walls of water on both sides, forming a dramatic backdrop. Then, film thousands of Israelites walking across the exposed seabed. Use wide cinematic shots to show the impossible scale of this event. This emphasizes the miracle unfolding before them. Now, introduce the Egyptian soldiers, who begin to follow the Israelites into the passage. The tension builds as the waters are ready to return. Capture the moment when the waters surge back. Show the Egyptian army disappearing beneath the waves. This closure is vital for the story. Once the Israelites reach the opposite shore, depict their celebration. Show tears of joy, heartfelt prayers, and immense relief. Miriam can lead the women in celebration with tambourines, adding vibrancy to the scene. Transition to the wilderness. Now the people feel hunger and thirst. Introduce the miraculous manna appearing in the desert. Show Moses providing water from the rock to quench their thirst. Discuss how the Israelites struggled with fear and trust during these trials. This adds depth to their journey. Each moment reflects their evolving relationship with faith. End the chapter with the people approaching Mount Sinai. The mountain should rise dramatically above the desert, with dark clouds gathering around its summit. Conclude with the narrator stating, "The sea had been crossed. Egypt was behind them. But their greatest test was still ahead." Fade to black, leaving viewers eager for what comes next. Remember to capture the emotions and scale. Let your visuals tell the story of hope and perseverance. Now it's time for you to create your epic cinematic chapter. The Israelites gathered at the foot of Mount Sinai. The mountain is surrounded by clouds, thunder, and lightning. Moses begins his ascent up the mountain. Here, he prepares to receive the covenant and the commandments from God. As Moses climbs, he is enveloped by the divine presence. The significance of the 10 Commandments is profound in biblical history. These commandments are the foundation of moral living. The stone tablets symbolize God's laws, etched directly by his hand. While Moses is on the mountain, the people below grow impatient. They are anxious, seeking reassurance and guidance. Aaron, faced with pressure, struggles to maintain order among the crowd. The atmosphere shifts as they demand a visible God. In their rebellion, the golden calf is created. This idol quickly becomes an object of worship. The Israelites' faith falters as they turn from God's promise. Moses descends from the mountain, tablets in hand. Upon seeing the golden calf, his fury erupts dramatically. In a powerful moment, Moses shatters the tablets at the mountain's base. This act signifies the consequences of their rebellion. The people's actions reflect their loss of faith. Moses, in deep concern, intercedes for Israel before God. He bears the weight of leadership, representing an entire nation. This responsibility showcases his role as more than just a lawgiver. Moses must bridge the gap between God's holiness and the people's sin. After heartfelt intercession, Moses returns to God's presence. The covenant is renewed, symbolizing hope and restoration. As God's voice resonates again, the people learn true worship. The Israelites begin constructing the tabernacle. This structure is vital as the center of worship. It represents God's dwelling among his people, a beautiful symbol of his promise. Finally, God's glory fills the tabernacle, showcasing his divine presence. Narrator. Moses had received laws that would influence civilizations for thousands of years, but leading the people who received those laws would prove far more difficult. As the scene fades, we transition to the wilderness journey, highlighting more trials ahead. Have you ever wondered about the Israelites in the wilderness? This journey became their test of faith and leadership. Our goal is to explore their struggles and experiences throughout this time. The Israelites traveled through harsh wilderness terrains. Many faced hardships, like scarce food and water. Complaints echoed among the people, with frustration building. Moses constantly faced pressure and questions. As the journey continued, leaders decided to send spies to Canaan. The 12 spies explored this promised land for 40 days. When they returned, 10 spoke of giants and dangers. Fear swept through the camp as they reported powerfully fortified cities. But Joshua and Caleb stood strong, encouraging faith in God. They urged the Israelites to trust the promise. Despite their courage, the people refused to enter the land. Moses' heart sank as he witnessed their rebellion and disbelief. As time passed, the Israelites endured a prolonged wander. Years transformed children into adults, and the old generation faded away. Moses remained steadfast, leading the new generation towards the promised land. However, tensions flared with Korah's rebellion. A dramatic confrontation unfolded between Moses and his challengers. Questions about his leadership authority escalated, creating division among the people. Another crisis arose when water became scarce. Frustrated with constant complaints, Moses faced another test. At Meribah, he struck the rock, deviating from God's command. This moment would shape his destiny profoundly. After leading for decades, Moses stood close to the promised land. Yet, he learned he would not enter it. In summary, the wilderness journey tested faith, obedience, and leadership under dire circumstances. The Israelites faced fear, and Moses dealt with constant challenges. Now that you've seen their journey, think about your own challenges in faith. Embrace trust in difficult moments like Moses and the Israelites did. Moses stands before the Israelites, now an elderly man. His face shows decades of hardship. He exhibits both leadership and exhaustion. Narrator: Moses had survived Pharaoh, the wilderness, rebellion, hunger and war. But now, he faced the final chapter of his life. Moses prepares Joshua as his successor. This moment is critical for Israel's future. Joshua would lead them into Canaan. Moses gives heartfelt instructions to the people. These instructions reflect years of wisdom learned. The Israelites listen intently to his words. This moment becomes a solemn reflection on obedience. Themes of covenant, remembrance, and responsibility rise around him. Moses blesses the tribes of Israel, ensuring their unity. Each blessing conveys his legacy and love for them. Next, Moses climbs toward Mount Nebo. The journey reveals breathtaking aerial views. The Jordan Valley and Canaan unfold before the camera. Moses reaches the summit, enduring every step. He gazes across the land. Narrator: He could see the destination he led his people toward, but he would never walk into it. Close-ups capture Moses' emotional gaze over the land. His eyes reveal hope mixed with sorrow. God remains unseen, represented through light and clouds. The atmosphere signifies a divine presence all around. Moses peacefully accepts his fate, embodying grace and strength. Joshua waits below, ready for his new role. The scene ends with Moses alone on the mountain. Silence envelops the moment, as music fades quietly. Fade to black, leaving viewers to reflect on Moses' journey. Moses stands alone on the mountains of Moab. The sun sets, casting shadows over Canaan. Narrator: Moses' journey ends not in triumph, but in solitude. He gazes into the distance, lost in thought. Flashback to his birth beside the Nile. Show a mother cradling a small baby. Transition to Moses in Pharaoh's palace as a child. Narrator: He grew up as an Egyptian, yet was destined for more. Next, show the Egyptian he killed in anger. Moses' expression shifts from innocence to regret. Quick cut to Moses escaping into the wilderness. A moment of solitude, filled with uncertainty. Flash to the burning bush, a divine encounter. Moses speaks to the God who chose him. Lead my people, he said, the weight of the task immense. Cut to Moses confronting Pharaoh's might. The plagues unfold, tension thick in the air. Transition to the Exodus, a nation fleeing bondage. The Red Sea parts, a miraculous escape. Show the awe on the faces of the Israelites. Mount Sinai flashes in the memory. Narrator: He received the commandments, a covenant with God. Transition to moments of struggle, the golden calf. The wilderness scenes capture years of hardship. Moses' leadership tested, yet faith remained strong. He guided them through trials, never losing hope. Now, focus on his aged face, eyes reflective. Narrator: At 120, his life draws to a close. Show the Israelites mourning their beloved leader. Joshua steps forward, ready to take the reins. The people prepare for their journey into Canaan. Narrator: Moses wouldn't cross the Jordan, but his spirit would. Highlight his legacy, prophet, lawgiver, servant of God. He taught them to follow God's words, to love one another. As night falls, the mountains blend into mist. The final moments echo through the ages. Transition to Moses' enduring impact on faith and culture. Narrator: His teachings continue to guide, transform, and inspire. Encourage viewers to reflect on his life and legacy. Let us remember Moses as a symbol of hope. Carry forward his lessons as we journey in life. May his story inspire us to lead with love and faith. Moses' life raises a profound question. Who is he really? In this final chapter, we explore his impact. Our goal is to understand Moses' legacy across time and cultures. We begin with ancient landscapes fading into modern scenes. Few figures in ancient history have influenced humanity as profoundly as Moses, the narrator states. Now, let's review the major stages of Moses' life. He started as a baby saved from death. Then, a prince raised in Egypt. Next, a fugitive in the wilderness. This transformed when he encountered the burning bush. Moses became the leader of the Exodus. He stood as the prophet at Mount Sinai, the lawgiver and shepherd of a nation. He faced Pharaoh, leading his people across the wilderness. He saw the promised land but never entered. Moses holds immense importance in Judaism. He represents law, tradition, and identity. In Christianity, he symbolizes faith and prophecy. In Islam, Moses is the messenger, a model of righteousness. Each tradition honors his teachings uniquely. As we explore ancient manuscripts, desert landscapes, and Mount Sinai imagery, we recognize the artistry of history. The stone tablets and archaeological remnants remind us of his enduring influence. The Mosaic tradition shapes our ideas of law, morality, covenant, and leadership. These concepts echo through ages, touching lives across cultures. Now, we return to our opening image. The basket floating on the Nile reappears. The story began with a baby who should have been killed, the narrator reminds us. It ended with a leader whose story would survive thousands of years. As the powerful final sequence begins, we see Moses symbolically walking through a vast desert. He embodies humanity's struggles and triumphs. Moses did not live a perfect life, concludes the narrator. He made mistakes. He doubted. He struggled. Yet, his story remains one of the most enduring ever told. Ultimately, from the Nile to Mount Nebo, Moses' life was not simply one man's journey. It was about a people searching for freedom, faith, and a promised future. We end with captivating aerial footage of the desert at sunrise. Fade to black. With subtle orchestral music, we invite you to reflect on this remarkable legacy.